Mortal Engines was one of those movies that I was excited about initially when I first saw the trailer, which was over a year ago when the teaser trailer came out, and just the idea of these cities on wheels, tracks, whatever, just careering around the landscape, chasing other cities was just so imaginative, so much fun, and it looked crazy. They'd obviously threw money at it to make it look as spectacular as it possibly could be. And it was on my radar. I was excited for it. Months passed, and it was a long while before we got the second trailer that gave us an idea into the plot. And the plot itself is all about this young woman, Hester, who has been wronged by Thaddeus. He is the sort of security or the brains behind London, not the mayor, but one of the larger figures there. And this is one of the biggest cities in this landscape. We have had a global war that has wiped out humanity, and now these cities are roving around, taking over smaller cities so that they can survive. And it starts to become very much like a young adult novel, which is based on it. It starts to incorporate lots of things that are prevalent in lots of those kind of movies. There is nothing overly unique about this other than that initial aesthetic, which we don't see enough of in my book. There's strangely two things at hand here. You have this stunning visual, fully realised world that is fascinating and stunning to look at, and you have this banal, typical plot line. There you have no surprises. You pretty much know exactly beat for beat what's going to happen, and it feels very pedestrian in the way it goes about it. So you have really good points, really bad points, and it just comes together to create a movie that is a little bit average, a little bit above average, if that, which is a real shame because it's something I was really sort of buying into. Like I said, there is other factions about the movie as well. It does have some good moments within it. There is some good action set pieces. There are some fun, exciting moments, but they never rise above decent. They never become something that is truly outstanding, something you want to rave about or tell other people they have to check this thing out. Visually stunning, absolutely, but there are other visually stunning movies out there that do more, that have more on top of it. I don't want to put on the movie too much because it wasn't a complete mess. It wasn't atrocious like some of the other young adult adaptations that I have seen. Like I said, it has a really neat conceit. The idea of these villages or cities all stuck in the one sort of vehicle, the hierarchy that works throughout it, it felt a little bit as if it was stealing ideas from Mad Max and Snowpiercer and things like that, because of the way it was just going about its business, which was excellent. The characters and some of the way they go about their plot lines are just absolutely crazy. Take for instance, we have this man who's going to be our co-lead, falls in love with Hester, our main person, and he works in a museum that kind of recovers technology from the cities that they take over. And he's being interviewed by somebody, and for some reason just starts spouting all of this exposition that doesn't have to be said in this conversation, showing her things that don't really need to be shown but are only there to facilitate somebody else seeing that so that it can facilitate plot points later on. There are better ways to go about it. There are more smarter, cunning ways to go about it rather than just having plain old exposition and unrealistic plot points that early on in the movie. There are some genuinely interesting characters like Strike, the visual look of him, the way he moved about, that his business was interesting. But everything I loved about the movie was all to do with the look, and everything I hated about the movie was all to do with the plot and the story and some of the characters. It's a movie that I can't say you have to search out in the cinema. It's one that I can say check out on Netflix or something. You may enjoy it. For me, it was slightly above average. I'd probably give it 3 out of 5, being kind to it. And it's maybe something that I'll put on in the background one time when I'm doing something else. I don't need to pay attention to the story. I can just look up the cool visuals every now and again when I want to and tune out for the rest of it. Love to know your thoughts on Mortal Engines. Where did you think it lies in the landscape of young adult adaptations? Let me know in the comment box below, and I'll see you next time on Man vs Film.